a weak and drunk old man named Pfluger, digging up a grave that has sacred religious markings on it. After a while, he finally pulls out a human skull from the grave. Suddenly, a strange white smoke comes out of the skull and hits Pfluger hard, throwing him several feet back. The scene then cuts to a teenage boy named Kelly, who is shopping at a small convenience store in town. Inside the store, he meets his childhood friend and secret crush, Dominique, or Dom for short. Kelly tries to act normal and make small talk with her before heading out. But as soon as he walks outside, 3 boys corner him: Nelson, Reed, and Brad. They have been bullying Kelly for years. They make fun of him because he has a weird habit of eating things like paper and styrofoam. Kelly tries to ignore them, but they won't stop. Luckily, Dom comes out of the store and sees what's happening. She tells the bullies to back off. This only makes them angrier. One of them shoves Kelly's face into a trash bin, making everyone around laugh. The loud noise catches the attention of the store owner, who quickly runs out and chases the bullies away. But the damage is done. The bullies record the whole thing and post the video online, humiliating Kelly even more. In another part of town, an indigenous man named Red Elk discovers that someone has disturbed an old grave. He kneels and prays over it, realizing that something dangerous has been released. Meanwhile, Kelly gets sick from eating strange things like pencils and erasers. His doctor tells his mother, Bernice, that her son has a serious eating disorder and needs to see a psychologist. Later, the same old man, Pfluger, appears again in town. He now claims to be a faith healer who can cure people's illnesses. To prove it, he touches a weak old woman's hands, and suddenly she can move them again without pain. People are amazed, including Bernice. Desperate to help her son, she asks Pfluger to come to her house and heal Kelly. When Bernice leaves to get her car, Red Elk approaches Pfluger and warns him about using the power he stole from the sacred grave. Red Elk even offers to help him get rid of it, but Pfluger refuses and mocks him. Red Elk tries to punch Pfluger, but something strange happens. His own punch bounces back and hits himself instead. The medicine Pfluger took from the grave is protecting him, making anyone who attacks him hurt themselves. Red Elk warns him that abusing this power will lead to his death, but Pfluger doesn't listen. Later, Pfluger arrives at Kelly's house. When he touches Kelly's body, a strong energy pushes him back. Shocked, he asks to use the bathroom for a moment. Inside, he drinks alcohol and snorts some cocaine to calm his nerves. He tries again, but this time, the power backfires badly. Pfluger's hand burns Kelly's chest. Then moments later, Pfluger screams in pain, and finally, he dies. Right after Pfluger dies, Kelly suddenly feels better. His sickness disappears, and he stands up as if nothing happened. When the police arrive, they take Pfluger's body away. Officer Adler gives Bernice his card in case she needs help later. Kelly then notices that the cigarette burn on his chest has already healed. Something has clearly changed in him. A few days later, one of the bullies, Reed, tries to mess with Kelly again, but this time, something strange happens. Reed ends up hurting himself instead. Kelly realizes that Pfluger's mysterious powers have somehow transferred into his body. For the first time, things seem to be going right for Kelly. He even gets a job at a pizza restaurant. But soon, problems return. Reed's father, Whitcomb, comes to Kelly's home and angrily accuses him of beating up his son. He finds it odd that Kelly could suddenly overpower Reed, since Reed used to bully him all the time. Bernice gets defensive and tells Whitcomb to leave. Later, Kelly tells his mother the truth about his new powers. Bernice is shocked but also amazed. She hugs him and begs him not to show off or attract too much attention. At school, Kelly is no longer an easy target. The bullies try to bother him, but every time they do, they end up getting hurt instead. During class, Dom accidentally drops her hair tie on Kelly's desk. He picks it up, bites off the tag, and hands it back. Right after that, he starts having strange and dark thoughts about her. Suddenly, Dom begins to feel something too, a wave of desire she can't explain. Kelly's imagination runs wild, and in his mind, Dom's friend Sarah joins them in a steamy fantasy. Somehow, the girls feel it too in real life, causing an embarrassing scene in the classroom. Kelly runs away to the bathroom, scared and confused by what's happening to him. Later that night, there's a school party. Nelson tries to flirt with Dom and lifts her up without her consent. Kelly sees this and confronts him. Before they can fight, Whitcomb, Nelson's father, steps in and breaks them apart. On their way home, Brad and his friend spot Kelly riding his bike. They decide to mess with him again, driving dangerously close and try and push him off the road. But Kelly doesn't even flinch. They get angry and chase him. Brad loses control of the car and crashes right into Kelly. Everyone gasps, but when the smoke clears, it's Brad who's dead, his skull crushed. Kelly stands there, completely unharmed. Later, Kelly tells Dom everything about Pfluger, his healing, and the power he now has. Nelson and his friends lie to the police, saying Brad crashed because he was trying to avoid Kelly, who was biking in the middle of the road. But after investigating, the police release Kelly. Meanwhile, Red Elk visits Pfluger's grave. He touches the soil and realizes the old man's power had left him before he died. When Red Elk hears that Kelly was hit by a car and didn't get hurt, he knows what happened. Pfluger's curse is passed to Kelly. Red Elk visits Kelly at work and confronts him. Panicking, Kelly admits that Pfluger had tried to heal him before he died. Nelson and his friends, however, are furious. They blame Kelly for Brad's death and plan revenge. They decide to destroy Kelly's trailer home. After watching Kelly and his mother's daily schedule, they wait until Bernice leaves for her night shift. But that night, things go wrong. Kelly finishes work early, and Bernice feels sick, so she stays home. Kelly goes out to buy her medicine. At that moment, Nelson and his gang mistake Bernice for Kelly inside the trailer. They hook the trailer to their truck and drag it violently. Bernice wakes up in shock as the trailer shakes and breaks apart. The boys panic, fail to unhook the trailer, and drive away, dragging it behind them. The gas stove inside the trailer leaks, and within moments, the whole place explodes. When Kelly returns home, he finds the trailer burning. He runs inside, trying to save his mother, but it's too late. Bernice dies in the fire. Heartbroken, Kelly breaks down, and Officer Adler convinces the hospital to keep him for the night while he finds a place for him to stay. At the hospital, Red Elk meets Adler, who is also from the same Native American tribe. He tells Adler about the dark power Kelly now holds and urges him to help before it's too late. But Adler refuses to talk about old tribal legends while Kelly is suffering from grief. Red Elk nods and says he'll wait. At Bernice's funeral, Dom stays beside Kelly. When Kelly cries, she comforts him and tells him that his mother would be proud of him no matter what. Kelly says he needs to stay strong for her, but Dom insists that Bernice was already proud of him. Kelly then admits that he plans to leave town. Dom is heartbroken, and before leaving, they share a kiss, once again feeling a strange energy between them. Later, Kelly visits Pfluger's grave. He sees some wild plants growing from it and eats one of them, thinking it might help him. But the plant makes him sick, and he starts vomiting. Unbeknownst to him, Sarah sees the whole thing from afar. The next day, Officer Adler drives Kelly to the social services. On the way, they talk about the explosion. When Adler mentions that the trailer had fallen off its supports before the fire, Kelly realizes it wasn't an accident. It was murder. Meanwhile, Nelson and his friends feel no guilt at all. They keep quiet about what they did and decide to relax at the river to cool off. But on the way there, they see Adler's car with Kelly inside. They start mocking him again. This time, Kelly's anger boils over. He jumps out of the moving car and secretly follows them to the river, ready to face them once and for all. At the river, Tucker takes off his shirt and dives into the water for a swim, laughing and splashing around while Nelson and the others throw small rocks at him, just for fun. Everyone is joking and carefree, completely unaware that Kelly is secretly watching them from distance. Seeing them distracted, Kelly quietly picks up Tucker's shirt that's lying on the ground. He rips off a small piece of it and eats it. Immediately after that, Kelly wraps the shirt around his own neck and starts choking himself. At that exact same moment, Tucker begins gasping for air in the water. His body tenses up and he struggles to stay afloat. No matter how hard he tries to breathe, he can't. The boys' laughter quickly turns into panic as they watch Tucker drown right in front of their eyes. Nelson jumps into the water, trying to save his friend, but it's too late. Tucker sinks below the surface and doesn't come back up. The boys stand frozen in horror. That's when Kelly steps out from behind the trees, smirking. He proudly tells them that he's the one who caused Tucker's death. Panicking, Reed takes off running while Kelly turns his attention to Nelson. He grabs Nelson's shirt, ready to do the same thing to him. But before he can, Reed returns, this time with Officer Adler. Seeing the police, Kelly quickly runs away into the woods. When the officers question the boys, Nelson and Reed tell them that Kelly used some kind of supernatural power to kill Tucker and even Brad before that. But the police don't believe their story. Instead, they start suspecting that Nelson and the others might be the ones responsible for Tucker's death. That night, Kelly sneaks up to Dom's house and gently knocks on her window. When she lets him in, she immediately asks what happened to the river. Kelly tells her everything. how he killed Tucker, and why he's planning to kill Nelson next. He says he wants revenge for his mother's death. Dom listens quietly, then tells him that killing people won't bring his mom back. She pleads with him to find another way, to make the bullies confess to what they did instead of murdering them. After thinking for a moment, Kelly agrees. They share a long kiss, not realizing that their connection is growing stronger than ever. The next day at school, Kelly goes to his chemistry class with a plan. He wants Tony, one of Nelson's friends, to admit that he helped destroy his mother's trailer. Kelly starts teasing and provoking Tony, saying cruel things just to make him angry. Tony gets mad and is about to attack Kelly, but Nelson steps in and calms him down. Then Kelly crosses the line. He insults Tony's girlfriend, Sarah. Furious, Tony grabs a bottle of acid from the chemistry table and throws it at Kelly. But because of Kelly's strange power, the attack bounces back. The acid splashes all over Tony's face and burns him badly. Tony screams in agony, then collapses to the floor, and finally he dies. Sarah, shocked and heartbroken, kicks Kelly in the groin out of anger, but she ends up hurting herself instead and falls down in pain. Dom stands there frozen, horrified by what she just witnessed. Moments later, the teacher and Officer Adler rush into the classroom. But before they can stop him, Kelly runs out and disappears. The school goes into lockdown, and the police announce that classes will be canceled until Kelly is found. That night, a grieving Sarah goes to Nelson's house. Her face is cold and filled with anger. She blames Kelly for Tony's death and swears she's going to help Nelson get revenge. Sarah remembers the wild plant, the strange vine from the cemetery, that once made Kelly sick. She tells Nelson that maybe it's the only thing that can stop him. Together, they head to the graveyard in the dark to dig up the vine. The next morning, Officer Adler finally contacts Red Elk for help. The two of them dig up Pfluger's grave to find answers. Meanwhile, Whitcomb, Nelson and Reed's father, drives his sons to football practice. He's worried about their safety and even brings extra security to watch over them. When Adler arrives at the football field, he notices something strange, a metal chain in the back of Whitcomb's pickup truck. It looks exactly like the chain that was used to drag Kelly's trailer before it exploded. Adler questions Nelson and Reed about it, but they both deny knowing anything. A few minutes later, Kelly shows up at the practice ground. He's holding an electric drill and looks furious. Earlier, he had eaten a small piece of Nelson's shirt, meaning anything he does to himself will now happen to Nelson. Adler steps forward and begs Kelly to stop before someone gets hurt, but Kelly ignores him. He turns on the drill and drives it into his own knees. Instantly, Nelson falls to the ground, screaming in pain as the same wounds appear on his legs. Kelly demands that Nelson confess to killing his mother. As Kelly gets closer, Dom arrives and calls out to him. Hearing her voice, Kelly finally stops. But Nelson takes advantage of the moment and sprays Kelly with the liquid he brought from the cemetery, the same weed juice that made him sick before. Kelly collapses to the ground, weak and shaking. Before anyone can react, Whitcomb grabs Adler's gun and fires at Kelly. But because of the power's strange reflection effect, the bullet bounces back. Whitcomb accidentally shoots Nelson and then himself, and finally they die. After the chaos, Dom runs to Kelly and cries, telling him to stop using his powers before they destroy him too. She convinces him to finally give them up. Kelly hesitates, but agrees, saying he's tired of hurting people. Later that night, Adler takes Kelly, Dom, and Red Elk to the cemetery where everything began. Red Elk starts performing a sacred ritual to remove the curse from Kelly's body. As the ceremony continues, Dom leans forward and kisses Kelly, trying to give him strength. But things quickly spiral out of control. Kelly starts shaking violently, screaming in pain. Dom begs Red Elk to stop the ritual, but before he can, the police arrive and surround them, ordering everyone to freeze. In the chaos, Kelly panics and tries to run. One of the officers shoots at him, but the curse reflects the bullet, hitting both Dom and the officer instead. Dom falls to the ground, bleeding. Kelly rushes to her side, tears streaming down his face. With her last breath, Dom kisses Kelly one final time before dying in his arms. Heartbroken and filled with guilt, Kelly decides to end everything. He goes to Pfluger's rotten corpse, digs it up, and eats the decaying flesh, hoping to destroy the cursed power forever. The Unhealer movie ends with something shocking happens. Inside the ambulance, Dom suddenly opens her eyes, alive again. The same strange power that once belonged to Kelly now flows through her. She looks around in confusion, realizing what has happened. And finally, The screen fades to black. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification so you don't miss the latest recaps.